I feel unbelievable. Such a long day that somehow went by really fast at the same time. To get my first win right here in Savannah, so close to where I went to school, is kind of crazy. I haven't had much success here in the past, but to get it done today is extra special, to be this close to what's kind of my adopted home.
Obviously went to a playoff hole. Can you kind of talk us through how you're feeling once finished up and then had to wait a little bit and then go back and play another hole?
Yeah, thankfully I was only one group in front of the final group, so the wait wasn't too bad. By the time I greeted a few people and signed my card, it wasn't too bad of a wait, so I was ready to go.
So much support for you throughout the week. How special is it for you to cap it with the win?
I feel like I gave the people what they wanted. Definitely could feel the crowd on my side, and I had a great group of people following me all week, and for them to come out and continue to support me is so special.
Steven, you hit a lot of greens today, and there were a lot of putts within that 15-foot range where you were just a couple inches off the cup. How did you stay locked into the point where in those last 5 holes you really came in clutch?
Yeah, the last year or so I've really dedicated myself to my mental game. Honestly, here last year when I missed the cut by 1 was kind of a lower point mentally, and it was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back, and I decided to do something about it. And all week I was as patient as I've ever been, and as nice to myself as I've ever been. And to see that patience pay off there at the end is really cool to see, because it takes a lot in this game to stay in it mentally, because it's a tough ride.
What was your thought coming out of the bunker and the first time you played 18 today and you put it to a foot?
Yeah, it was a pretty simple bunker shot. Honestly, the type of thing that you practice at home all the time. I had plenty of green to work with there, so really just kind of chunk it out and let it roll out a bit and try and get it as close as I can to not have a nervy one for birdie.
Steven, how special was it to have your former head coach from Georgia Southern here, along with a couple other Georgia Southern Eagles that are playing golf as well?
Yeah, they've supported me for over a decade now, which is kind of weird to say, but to have all the Georgia Southern people, special shout out to Carter, come out and support me is something I'll never forget, and something that I'll always be appreciative of. And if I can, real quick, great plan by Ben and Mason this week. It's great to see both of them come onto the Korn Ferry Tour and play some great golf, and show others and themselves that this is the type of place that they belong soon.
And also, I have your wife that was just right over your shoulder here as I'm filming you. You guys get married just a month ago in the state of Georgia. To get your first professional win here in the state, how extra special is that for you?
Yeah, it's crazy. I joked with her the other day that we should have got married a lot sooner. This being my first start since the wedding, but her support's been unwavering for 6 years now. I couldn't ask for anybody better to be by my side through all of this and put up with the life of a pro golfer.
And who is your caddy today? And Jeff, if you don't mind just lowering the mic. No, you're good. Just get there.
Yeah, my caddy, his name's Nico Torres. We linked up back in Chicago last summer and have been working together since then. He does an unbelievable job. He's the same guy every single day. Super calm, muy tranquilo, as he likes to say. But he's great. He deserves this just as much as anybody.
What was the biggest change that you had to make to your mental game?
Yeah, I've always struggled with, getting upset on the golf course. Sometimes you want something so bad that you kind of get in your own way. I feel like at one point I had a bit of a reputation of, kind of being a hothead, and nobody wants to be that guy, and I certainly don't want to be that guy anymore. I may have a bad day here and there, but overall I think I've made so much progress, and none of this would happen without all the work that I've done.
Can you just go back to earliest memories of the par 3 course driving range that your dad built when you were a kid?
Yeah, I mean, Rum Creek Golf, special shout out. It's in Stockbridge, Georgia. Let's see, they opened that place when I was 4 or 5 years old, and I pretty much grew up down there. You know, it's a 9-hole par 3 course that I could play 4, 5, 6 times a day. You know, it was a special place to grow up. I feel like it led to me having a really solid iron game because I didn't hit a lot of drivers there, obviously, once I was a certain age, but it was a great place to grow up. And I'm so appreciative of everything that my parents did to put me in a position like this.
How would you describe your swing and your grip? Your dad said it's a little just unorthodox, but how do you look at it?
Yeah, if you ask anybody else, my grip probably sucks. But, you know, I've always done it this way. And I've tried to tinker with it over the years with my coach. It's just not something that I've ever been able to get comfortable with. And I figured if I'm going to have success in this game, I'm going to do it my way. And, you know, be stubborn and, you know, do everything I can to make myself the best player I can be and rely on some of my natural instincts.
What was it about Georgia Southern, sort of, as you went through that process that led you to believe that that was sort of the best place for you to be?
Yeah, you know, coming out of high school, I was a good junior, but I wasn't one of the top-ranked kids in the country or anything like that. And from the moment I stepped on campus at Georgia Southern and got to meet Coach Carter, and it felt like home. You know, it's been a special place for me that I still to this day enjoy going back to. There are so many people in that athletic department that did so many things for me over the years that none of this would happen without all the help that Georgia Southern gave me for the 4 years I was there, and then all the support I've gotten after.
And I know, obviously, wedding, huge thing. Did you follow the international events going on, or did you just sort of completely check out and leave that aside, not really worry about what was happening?
You know, I would check in a little bit, but it's so early in the year. Obviously, I was kind of way down the points list. It's before this, and it's not really something worth looking at this early because the points they're so easily manipulated now. With one good finish, you can fly up. So it wasn't something that I was super concerned about. I was honestly excited to not have to go all the way down there, and I had a great excuse not to.
Did you already take a little honeymoon after the wedding, or were you right back to practice?
We went to Florida for a few days. My wife's been saying she wants to go to Cabo. I told her we'd see how the year went. I think she's looking pretty good right now. Probably do something in December in the off season, something special.
Steve, did you work with anybody on the mental side of the game, or did you do that yourself?
I work with Dr. Bob Jones. He's in Atlanta. We talk pretty much every other week, mostly just over Zoom because it's hard for me to get back. But he's been helping me for a few years, and I kind of went through cycles for a little bit to dedicate myself to it and then think I'm okay, and then kind of go back through the same cycle. And like I said, a year ago here, I kind of hit a bit of a breaking point mentally, and a few weeks later I reached out to him and got back with him, and have been doing every 2 or 3 weeks. And it's more of a check-in at this point than anything else. A lot of the work that he and I have done has been kind of set in, but you know, if I stop going, you know, you never know when that cycle might try and come back around.
All right. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah.